I've had enough of this station to last a lifetime.
Or two in your case. Come on.
Man, let me know.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We are back with the Cooper Hernick podcast with Chris from the parking lot.
Yo, what's up? How are you today, Cooper?
I'm doing well, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, a little rainy,
Yeah.
but we're all good.
For Toronto standards, it is pretty hot. But if Chris was talking about the weather, it would be like cold for you probably.
Nah, but it'd just be well, currently right now, it'd probably be a little chilly, like in the 70s. We'll probably be like with a light jacket on and jeans.
What would you consider to be cold?
Anything below 60.
Wow. Is that, I think that's like 10 or 15 degrees Celsius, I want to say.
No, let's remember we're used to extreme heat over here. Humidity,
Yeah.
mugginess.
It's like 40 there in the summer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually 40 in the summer.
You guys are literally on a swamp.
Yes.
If you guys don't know, Florida is basically just like all the sand and shark teeth just piled up over the years. So it just piled up and it just formed an extremely flat land mass that's going to get swallowed up by the ocean in the next 10 years probably.
Well, probably won't be living here by then, so I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll probably end up moving to Toronto because I'm currently.
I already got a place. I already got a place, Cooper. I already got a place. I already have a place I want to be. So how are you, my dude?
I'm doing good. I'm really happy about this Blue Jay team. I think that we are a potential World Series contender if we can get our pitching in order. That is the caveat to that. If we can learn how to have good pitchers in the AL East, which is very hard to do, as we all know. But currently, the Blue Jays are 6 games back of the AL East behind the Boston Red Sox and Tampa Bay Rays, with the New York Yankees basically tied with us. So we are definitely.
Yeah, you're up by a half game.
Oh, half game?
Yeah, because your record is 30-27, and their record is 31-38, 31-28.
Oh, it's telling me 6 games back for both Yankees and Blue Jays.
Yeah, you're both 6 games back, but
But technically we are ahead.
Yeah, and well, then again, the Boston game is not final yet.
So technically we could be. Would that be 5? That'd be 5.5 games back if they lose. Well,
Boston's up 6-4 in the bottom of the 10th.
So that means that.
Cooper.
That means that most likely we will be above the Yankees.
Yeah, right now Boston's winning 6-4 in the bottom of the 10th, and there's a runner on third with 2 outs, so there was probably a double play or something.
Yeah. So
let's look at some other scores.
Of other teams, what team has surprised you most this year? And Chad, if you want, you can answer the question too.
Surprisingly, I would say San Francisco, the Giants.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I didn't expect the
Giants. It's very impressive. I'm surprised that the LA Dodgers, who have spent over $200 million, I think, like in total, they are in third place in their division, and
they're in third place with.
San Francisco Giants are in first place. I don't know how. I think that their manager, what's his name, Gabe Kapler,
Yeah.
he must be using some of that magic from the Phillies. I think wasn't it the Phillies? I'm pretty sure.
Which team has disappointed you the most?
Uh, what team has disappointed me?
Yeah.
I lost a lot of friends that day.
Interesting
My
question.
bad changes. It was a break. It was a let.
So
Do you want me to go first?
I'm sorry to upset the what's his name from parking lot who's the Twins fan, but I'm not saying
Oh,
Twins.
Let's try something.
Tanner.
Yeah,
I was about to say
Tanner.
the same thing. It's Minnesota. Minnesota's really disappointing
Yeah,
because they have a good
I
team,
said that Minnesota would be the best team in their division,
and they're
and
not.
I said that the White Sox would be close. I said they would be up there, their division, but I didn't think that they would be that good. Maybe because I didn't predict that Yermin Mercedes would be a total stud and a beast. But the White Sox have been really good, and the Minnesota Tees, I'm going to call them because they don't deserve the win in their name, as Tree said. They don't know how to win games.
Oh God,
I'm
yeah,
taking
that.
away the entire win from their name. Just we're going to call them the Tees or the T.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings right now. So your division, so there's a tie right now in the NL Central with Chicago and Milwaukee at 33 and 26.
You know what team has kind of impressed me? Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
They
The Cubs,
haven't
yeah,
been complete shit.
yeah, the Cubs have
Maybe it's
been.
because they have Pittsburgh in their division.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry if
their
you're angry for
division,
that.
their division right now. So, um, there's a the Cubs and the Brewers are tied, but St. Louis is only 2.5 games back, and the Reds are 4.5 games back. I mean, 4 games back. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The division is pretty tight, except for the Pirates. But
Well, I
it's the
mean,
Pirates.
the only thing that I'm going to be embarrassed about is that the Pirates took 3 out of 4 from the Marlins.
I went to Fred's guy that day, and I didn't do it.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
I had to save his
Yeah, they played a 4 game series, and the Marlins won today.
So, speaking of the Marlins, do you think that last year was like some sort of voodoo magic and it was just like a fluke?
I mean, that's kind of hard to tell. Sorry. That's kind of hard to tell. Remember, we weren't playing that many teams. We were just playing within the division or the AL East. And with the whole thing that happened with the coronavirus and they didn't play that many games, probably it was because they also expanded the playoff to 2 teams per division plus the wild cards. So maybe that's what helped the Marlins classify to the
No,
playoffs.
didn't the Marlins win their division? I'm pretty sure they did.
No, they didn't. They came out in
Atlanta.
second. Yeah, it was Atlanta last year, which we lost. We got swept in the divisional series.
And this year, your division, it's the New York Mets, led by owner Steve Cohn. You like
Yeah, the Mets got a little something going on. Yeah, you try to do the Mets voice. Now look, yeah, the standings right now is really cutthroat because the NL East, I'm sorry, is it's not even within 10 games. The Mets have a 3.5 game lead from Atlanta, a 4 game lead from Philadelphia, and a 7 game lead from both the Marlins and
Nationals.
Yeah, and the Nationals. Yeah.
So it's definitely not as close as we thought it would be, but it is kind of in the same sort of ranking that I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I thought ahead of the season that it would be Atlanta in first, and then you would have the Mets, then you would have the Phillies, and then the Marlins would probably be tied with the Phillies or something. And I had to say the Nationals wouldn't be very good. The Nationals have definitely regressed. I'm sure you
They
agree
got
with
too many
that.
injuries right now.
Yeah, and also they're an aging team.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to last week. I went to a game. It was actually against the Phillies, and the only big name there was Reese Hoskins.
Yeah. What about Bryce?
Harper was out. Bryce was out.
Oh, speaking of Reese Hoskins, I've had him on my fantasy team for like I think the
Hmm.
past 2 or 3 years, and he's a beast. I have to say.
So now that you brought that up, what exactly how do you play fantasy baseball? Because the only sport that I only do fantasy is mostly football because it's just short. I don't think I could keep up with. I tried fantasy basketball and it just didn't work.
Speaking of fantasy football, I created my own league, so I'll share the link with you
All right.
in DM if you want. So how I do fantasy
All right.
baseball, since I'm the commissioner, I added a bunch of like stats you wouldn't see. So I obviously have like at bats,
Mm-hmm.
runs, hits, doubles, home runs, RBIs, stolen bases. Oh, I also have triples, um, stolen bases.
Singles.
Uh, well, not singles. I have hits.
Oh, hits. Okay, so
I also have
what's
walks,
like?
errors, fielding percentage, average, inning pitch,
Mm-hmm.
wins, losses, saves, strikeout, hold, ERA, WHIP, and then strikeout per nine. I like to have a big assortment. Normally, in the generic default, they
Yeah.
there's like 9 different stats. I think that I may have listed off about double that.
So um. So my question would be, okay, so let's say you have for example, Jazz Chisholm, for example, from the Marlins, and he hits a home run, he flies out, he hits a base hit, and then he gets he steals a base. How much points would you get there?
Um, it depends how much each is weighed. I think a home run might be weighed as like 2, maybe 4. But no, um, it, since you're doing a head-on-head match every week, um, like let's say for home runs, whichever team has the most home runs after the week wins that category. Whoever wins each of the categories gets a
Mm,
point, and that goes to their total record. That moves them up in the standings. Right now, I'm at 82, 48 and 7, which is
mm-hmm.
7 games back of first place. I'm in third place right
uh,
now.
so it's not like fantasy football that like you have like for example Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry scores a touchdown, that's 6 points, and he runs for like 200 yards, that's 20, and then he catches a pass for like 5 yards, which is like he has
Well,
like 50 yards receiving.
it depends how you do your league, but um,
Mm-hmm.
with the head-on-head matchups, it's just like the tallied up points, and then you get a point for each category. But I think there is a way where you could weigh each like point in a different, like each category differently, just like fantasy football.
And what position gives you the most points?
What position gives the most points?
Batters or pitchers?
I would say batters because I added a lot of different positions, so you can
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of players on your team, and since you don't have your pitchers pitching most of the time, because most of the
Yeah,
time you have like probably only one pitcher playing each day or something.
yeah.
You you just like you have a lot better on the hitting side than the pitching side.
Mm, yeah, that's the thing that I don't think I could ever get into fantasy baseball. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think I could do it. It's just way way too much brain power, way too much work.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
So
Uh,
Cooper here is also, well, he doesn't want to admit it, but he's also a Maple Leafs fan.
so unfortunately, my Toronto Maple Leafs, like usual, lost in the playoffs. The Leafs absolutely suck. They suck in the playoffs. They are terrible. They are absolutely terrible in the playoffs. They just choke. Austin Matthews, he sucks in elimination games. Mitch Marner sucks in elimination games, and they got absolutely screwed by John Tavares getting injured. He probably even could have played Game 7, I have to admit. I saw that he was skating before the game. He probably didn't pass concussion protocol, I would
Probably.
assume. Is he most definitely had a serious concussion. He's probably still dealing with the effects. And I can't believe that
Yeah, that
Canadians
was
that
probably
they
is
might
that was
friggin'
horrible.
be going ahead to the third round now. And speaking of the third round, they're going to be allowing Canadian teams to travel to the U.S.
Yeah, they're up 3-0.
No, I'm just talking about the government restrictions. They're going to be allowing teams from.
Oh yeah, I
travel.
read that.
The Justin Trudeau administration is going to allow them.
And teams from the U.S. to go.
Yeah.
That's good. I did see some fans in the
because
Montreal was letting fans in, but I guess Quebec's different.
Yeah, Quebec is very different. They can go have their own country, to be honest. Not a very big fan of Quebec here. Because if you compare Quebec...
oh yeah, because you're from Ontario. What's funny is...
If you compare Quebec to Alberta, you are literally looking at two completely different places. It's like comparing California to Wyoming. That's what it's kind of like. Maybe it's too hard a comparison.
So, in a Canadian aspect, since you're Canadian, so is Quebec kind of like how in Quebec, Cooper?
Well, I think your mic was cutting out. You're saying is Quebec.
So, is Quebec the way you mentioned Quebec? Is it like how we describe Texas sometimes?
Like how Texas is kind of separate and how they're libertarian in a way.
Yeah, like. Well, not forget the political aspect. I'm talking about the whole misconception that at one day, Texas is just going to say, we're going to be our own country, just like Quebec says they're going to be their own country.
Yeah. You can even compare it to, like, Puerto Rico.
Okay, that's a better example.
How they should be their own country. They should either be their own country or they should actually have state representation. But that's a whole other story that we're talking about.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I like the fact that they're going far. Since
you can even compare it to Brexit. If you compare Canada to the European Union, they're kind of like Britain wanting to get out. But they want the protection of the European Union, which is probably not going to happen because they're not giving any money to Canada if they still want protection.
Alright, I gotcha.
If you go to our government, everyone in our government has most of them, they have to be able to speak both languages, even though that the majority of the Canadian population doesn't even know both languages. I know a little bit of French, but do I use it? No, because no one really speaks in Ontario. And we kind of have French shoved down our throat, and everything has to have English and French on it. And in Quebec, they don't even require English to be on things. They don't need to have English on anything. And English there, if they're going to use English, has to be smaller than the French.
Okay, I gotcha. Alright.
What? They're very, like, nationalistic there about their language.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A little civics lesson.
Yeah.
No civics lesson, but let me see. Because right now, Toronto is. I mean, not Toronto. Colorado is playing Las Vegas. Let's see. Let me see how that's going right now.
I'll check. Oh wow, Vegas is up 5-1. Jeez.
Vegas is up 5-1. Well, I am gonna. I have a torture in a little bit.
You have a what?
You haven't met him yet, but a good friend of ours in our stream, the parking lot, is a diehard Colorado Avalanche fan.
Oh, is it that guy Joey? Is that who it was?
Yes, and
Oh,
I don't know if you know this story, Cooper, but when it was football season last year, he said that the Denver Broncos were going 11-5 after they were 3-4.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're laughing at the fact that he said they were going 11-5. He said it, and it's on stream, not on. He's in another stream. He said that the Denver Broncos were going 11-5 after they were
Colorado. It makes them so arrogant
3 and
about their
4.
team.
They still had to play. They still had to play Kansas City, the Raiders. Well, what's legal in Colorado, my friend?
Our good friend marijuana, which is definitely legal in Canada. Definitely legal.
It's also legal in Canada. He probably had a little bit of that.
Is it legal in Florida?
I mean, when you're in the division with Patrick Mahomes, you can't say you're going 11-5.
And you also can't say that you're not going to drink a couple of beers every game out of depression.
And who scored? What you say? God damn it! I could barely. Cooper, you cutting out or what? What's going on?
I thought you were checking something. So.
No.
What should we talk about next?
No, it's. Let's see. We mostly covered baseball. Well, you brought up if should Vlad Guerrero Jr. win the AL MVP. It's a little early. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, right now it's looking like it would either be him or Shohei Ohtani for the amazingness that he's done. But right now, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Ohtani is doing really good.
By the way, the Angels are absolutely screwed.
Well, if it's Triple Crown, then he'll probably get it.
I'm sorry for what's his name in the parking lot. What's your Angels fan?
Frank?
Yeah, Frank. Frank, I am so sorry for.
Crap.
Might be back on. Oh, it reconnected.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, now it's exactly connection. Good. So if the Angels had a good team around Mike Trout, I would actually say they're a good team, and I would be happy for the Angels, but they are clearly not. The Angels they're a disgrace to baseball. Artie Moreno should be ashamed. He should be in a prison cell for wasting their careers.
Let me see that. And their division
Hall of Famers.
easy either.
Yeah, but they should. You can easily beat the Houston Astros. They're not a very good team anymore, I have to say. They're not as good as they were.
How the hell are the Seattle Mariners above them?
Because the Mariners are getting a good season from Mitch Haniger after he got his balls caved in.
How are they?
And how are the Texas Rangers only
Mm.
5 games back of them?
Yeah, it's so the AL West. Yeah, that division is weird.
Yeah, I honestly, I want the Mariners and the Angels both to do well because did you watch the SB Nation documentary thing about the Mariners?
No, I haven't. I heard it's really good. It's like that 3 hour long thing.
Yeah, I watched it when it first came out, and great documentary. John Boyce is a great like documentarian filmmaker. Knows his stuff about baseball. I
That
recommend all you go watch that. That's a great video.
I'll have to I'll have to take a look at it because the only one I've seen
Is the Irritating Tree one?
the only one I've seen is the one that Tree made, and
Yeah,
it is kind of sad because they did waste. Yeah,
they wasted the
they
careers of many
they
players.
wasted
King
two
Felix,
Hall of Famers. Oh yeah,
King
they wasted how
Felix,
many Hall of Famers?
Ichiro,
King Griffey
um,
Jr., Ichiro,
um,
uh, King
Randy
Felix.
Johnson,
Who was the DH?
Ichiro,
Yeah, Randy
Felix,
Johnson. Who was the DH? Martinez, Edgar
yeah, Edgar
Martinez, I think.
Martinez.
Yeah.
You know Edgar Martinez. He like a year before he was batting DH for the Mariners. He was working in a factory. I think it was Puerto Rico or was it Venezuela? I'm not exactly sure, but he came from like nothing. I'm pretty sure.
I think he's Puerto Rican.
Also was
Let me take a look
Venezuela.
where he's from.
But Edgar Martinez, he's a great player. He came from
I
nothing.
think he's from Puerto Rico.
I remember learning that documentary that he, in the later stages of his career, because of his time working in the factories, he had trouble seeing the ball, and he was still able to hit home runs. So, what a great legend!
Mm.
Definitely deserving of being in the Hall of Fame, which he
Okay, so
is.
he's actually from New York. No. So he's actually from New York. He's yeah.
Maybe he moved to like Puerto Rico. Maybe he's working in a factory in New York or something. I'll have to go back and watch that documentary. But
Let me take a look. Okay, so his parents are from are from Puerto Rican descent. No, they just worked in
moving on from that, a team that really fell off after the first month of the season. You're probably going to know who I'm about to say. The Kansas City Royals. Everyone was sucking this team's you know what, and all those people were proved wrong because they fell off. They were in first place and they came down to second. I mean third.
Yeah. That's sad though. I mean, what it was they had a run of going to the playoffs 5 6 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that year. That was the year that they beat us in the playoffs. The greatest Blue Jay team in my
And
lifetime.
now look,
They beat. And now they're an average at best baseball team with a couple of really good
Jose
players.
Bautista home run.
I have to be honest. Whit Merrifield, Salvador Perez, Andrew Benintendi, they're all a bunch of great players. Even some of the pitchers they have.
Is it because they're a small market team?
Yeah, it's a whole small market thing that they have in their unfortunate misfavor.
Do you think baseball should pull a page from the other sports and implement a cap? Or that's not going to happen.
But I think that the teams like the Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers would veto it because of the amount of money that they have. I'm sure they could like somehow veto it in a way because baseball they definitely are rolling in money.
Oh yeah.
But the thing about being a Blue Jays
Yeah,
fan,
because I mean, look at the NFL or the NBA. Mm-hmm.
the thing about being a Blue Jay fan, I don't even have to deal with the small market thing, unlike you. So it's kind of nice because
Yeah, the Marlins
I
are a
think I
small
would call
market
the Blue
team.
Jays a mid market team in money spent. We've always spent around 25 to 50 million. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
125 to 150 mil, which is basically in the middle.
Mm.
But I think it would be a good idea to have
Yeah,
a cap
that's always been a thing of like how it
or
works.
maybe make the luxury tax
Yeah,
even more lucrative.
kind of like the NFL.
Uh, I think that they probably shouldn't go with like a really hard cap like what the NFL and NHL do. I think that they should have uh, a
So you're talking
fairly
like
high.
what the NBA does.
NBA does have a hard cap and have a luxury
Well, the
tax
NBA
with
does
it.
have the luxury tax.
Yeah, like have a luxury tax, but make it hard to be able to go over that luxury tax. With the NBA, you have to pay like millions extra.
Okay, all right.
And the MLB, it's like a drop in the bucket almost. But speaking of money for the Blue Jays, they're going to be paying a lot of money in a couple of years.
Yeah, because I know the Heat had to do that when LeBron was here.
Yeah, they probably had to go way over the cap at that time. You probably have a LeBron jersey with you, or you
Yeah.
probably burnt it.
No. I had a LeBron T-shirt, but I don't know where that is. I think I donated it.
You donated it to a kid so they can remember the years of LeBron in Miami.
Most likely, yeah, probably. I gave it a Goodwill.
Those are probably some good years for you.
Yep, a bit, yeah. Uh, let's see, what else we got? Oh, and one more thing before we go. Julio Jones got traded. Is going to get traded.
Didn't trade already happen?
It's not official.
Oh yeah, I forgot they're in a dead period.
But it's yeah. Period. Right now it is Oh, what do you know? The Logan Paul fight is actually in the 6th round.
Oh wow.
Probably.
So about the Julio Jones trade, I am very happy that he didn't go to the Patriots. I was really worried that would happen. I thought
supposedly, if everything goes according,
Mac Jones would get a star wide receiver, and I'm so happy that they didn't. And I'm happy that that they didn't. I was surprised how little the Titans had to pay for him. It was like a 2nd round pick and a couple of 4th round picks for the best, one of the best wide receivers in the league. That's ridiculous.
Probably something like that.
You have friggin' Julio Jones, Atlanta.
Because
get some good players for him. Get some good picks. Get at least a 1st round pick for
Julio Jones, AJ Brown, and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, you have AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, and Julio Jones.
And it's funny because
that's a World Series. That's a Super Bowl contender right there.
Yeah, because the
that team's gonna be scary.
That offense is going to be basically an all SEC team because it's Julio Jones and Derrick Henry are from Alabama, AJ Brown is from Ole Miss, and Ryan Tannehill is from Texas A&M.
No, that offense is called an all-star team.
Yeah, it is. Because before this, like, I had the Colts probably winning that division because of Carson Wentz, and the Colts are a pretty decent team.
Yeah, they have really good defense. But now
the AFC South Yeah, the
Because how the hell do you
yeah the
defend
AFC South
that
is going to be
Titans
pretty good
offense?
because the thing is, can the Titans defend though?
The Titans, I would say they have like a average defense. I would say
Because it's not just going to be Atlanta 2.0.
uh, you think the Titans are Atlanta 2.0?
But can that team go far enough?
The
If
Titans are
powerful,
easily a good team. They're easily a Super Bowl contender. They might be up there with my Bills, even though we have much better defense. But I won't get into that too much.
yeah, they are. They are a good team.
But before we get into the Jake Paul fight, which I know all of you are probably here for, I
No,
want to
you
talk
have a
about
good defense. Your defense is really good compared
yeah,
to.
and our offense. Emmanuel Sanders as our number two receiver, that's going to be amazing. And we have Colt, Isaiah McKenzie, Dawson Knox is our tight end. Dawson Knox, I've said for a couple of years, he's an our running back, Travis Singletary, and uh, what's the rookie's
So I'm
name?
watching it on someone. Yeah. Who's your biggest fear in the?
My biggest fear in what?
Uh, who's the biggest fear you got in the division?
My biggest fear in the division is the Patriots coming back and being a good team again. That is my absolute biggest fear in
You're
the
not worried about
AFC.
Miami?
I'm not worried about Miami. I don't.
The only team that swept us was the Bills.
Yeah, which means that we'll sweep you again. Our team hasn't gotten any worse.
We'll see what.
We've quite honestly gotten better. We've added another star wide receiver. We still haven't paid Josh Allen what he deserves yet, so we still have money to spend. And we have better
I think
chemistry
the
this
thing is,
season
I
than we did
think
last year.
Tua. If Tua um he starts developing and whatnot, because that's the thing. He was under Fitzpatrick, but now this is going to be like his first full year.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick in a Washington football team jersey is going to be interesting.
He should have went to New England and complete the whole AFC East.
Yeah, he hasn't played for New England yet, but I'm sure that Bill Belichick wouldn't like him because he's too much of a weirdo type personality.
He is. No, because it's funny because he played for Buffalo, he played for the Jets, and he played for Miami.
And he played for almost every other team in the league.
He played for Houston, the Rams, the Buccaneers.
When did he play for the Rams?
Yeah.
I don't remember
He got
that.
drafted by the Rams.
Oh, wow. That must have been a long time ago. So I don't
One
want to
sec.
be one of the big stories that I've been looking into recently. The MLB substance abuse problem with foreign substance abuse problem. So as we all know, Trevor Bauer and a bunch of other players have been abusing foreign substances on their hands when they're throwing pitches, in particular breaking balls, to get more RPM on the ball, which obviously makes the ball spin more, makes it have more break. This is complete cheating. Trevor Bauer, every pitcher who has abused this heavily needs to be punished. I don't think I've noticed the Blue Jays do this that much. I'm sure the Astros have. I've heard that almost 2/3 of the league have their own lab to concoct their own substances. Um, I heard
Well,
that the main reason why
the
Trevor
pitcher
Bauer
substance
signed
thing.
with the Dodgers was because the Dodgers wanted Bauer's ingredients to the substance he uses. If he uses something special or something. So what's your opinion on this?
Pitchers have been known for that for years, and honestly, it
No,
needs
but
to
now
it
it's
needs to
getting a lot
change.
worse because hit by pitch rates are up, and that's a player safety issue. So obviously, we need to deal
Yeah.
with this big time because we need to get rid of the hit by pitch. We need to start limiting hit by pitches because
Yeah.
player safety should be number one
So
priority.
when I went to the Marlins game, I think I saw two to three players get hit by a pitch.
Yeah, normally you don't see a lot of hit by pitches. As a Blue Jay fan, I normally don't see a lot of hit by pitches, and this year I think I have seen a lot more. And if you look at a lot of pitchers now, their RPMs are going way up and their velocity isn't going up at the same rate, which is definitely a sign that they're using a foreign substance. And the
Mm-hmm.
ball is coming off their fingers a lot later because they're using stuff that acts like glue almost. And I actually learned
Mm-hmm.
that one of the most common substances is a mix of sunscreen and rosin, which are both two legal substances on their own. Obviously, you need to have sunscreen on when you're pitching on the mound because you have the sun beating on you. And rosin is obviously normally for drying off your hands, but together they make one of the most sticky substances you could ever have. So
Mm.
this 100% should be illegal to do. I don't know how you do it because you can't really get rid of having rosin and sunscreen because you need both, just not together. But maybe it's just that if
Mm.
an umpire sees someone doing this, or if they see something on their glove or on their hat, kick them out of the game, suspend them. I heard the MLB is going to start suspending for 10 games or something. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's going to be hard to punish. Um, so, what's your opinion on it?
On what?
Like, do you think that we should be punishing severely? Um,
Maybe not as when you say I think maybe like they missed maybe two or between two, maybe five start. There are 2 to 5 starts. Maybe 2 starts would be fine because the pitcher,
yeah,
remember, pitchers only go.
two starts would be fine because that's technically 5 days.
That's like a 10 game.
Because when I'm saying 10 game suspension, I mean 5 days because
Yeah,
uh, so technically
yeah. Because remember,
or you could just do like a 5 game suspension. That might even be
mm-hmm,
enough. I know it's one start for starting pitchers. For reliever, it's probably about 3 relief appearances. But
mm-hmm,
I think we need to do that. We need to worry about player safety. Um, and look at the no hitters. We've been having no hitters almost
left, right, and
every other
center.
game. Um, Steven Matz of the Blue Jays, he almost had a no hitter against the Royals. I was very surprised with that because the Blue Jays don't normally have no hitters. And Madison Bumgarner also no hitter.
Well, it
But
wasn't official.
I was just that one just came to my mind because I was thinking about that it probably should have been official. But the MLB doesn't want to count 7 inning games, even though it does count as a game in the win column, so it should count for records.
Yeah, yeah. That whole thing. That's the thing with baseball. Sometimes is that their rules just get in the way of their stuff.
Yeah, and that's probably the reason why there's so many young fans aren't getting attracted to the game. Because
Mm-hmm.
us as stat nerds are probably making them get away from the love of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because when I went to the Marlins game, I mean, there were a couple people, young people, but not a lot.
So there's a lot of like older people.
More or less. More or less. Well, the Jake Paul and Mayweather fight, and then from what I heard, it was pretty boring.
I'm just gonna do a Google search of it.
Well, it won't even go to a. It won't even go to a decision because they said no winner will be called.
What do you mean? How isn't there a winner?
There were no judges, no. So like, if it went to the full
So how do we
distance, it
declare a
wouldn't
winner?
like it would just because there is no winner. It's just it's just a normal. It was just a fight. That's it.
Yep, there has to be a winner. Even if it's not going to count for Floyd Mayweather's wins, it should still
Yeah,
count.
I don't know. I mean, whoever spent.
In sports, you have to have a winner and a loser. I'm sorry to say it.
Well, there's only one thing I can tell you is that. Well, in this case, the loser are the people who paid $50 for that.
Oh, that's what the pay-per-view was?
Those are the real losers.
Yeah. You know who the real losers are? The
Yeah,
people,
that's how much it was.
people who
$50.
paid for the pay-per-view on that Jake Paul fight that lasted one punch. That's a loser right there.
Yeah. Can you imagine paying $50 just to
See a guy get knocked out
just
after
to
one
watch
punch.
that? I mean, no, it wasn't. It went the distance. That's the worst thing, Cooper. It went the distance.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we should be calling it a night, my dude.
Yeah, it's probably getting late. We probably have to go to sleep. I have school tomorrow. You have work tomorrow probably. So all y'all in chat. Bye.
I got some
I
things
love
to
all
take
you
care
in
of.